Well, everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the Samsung Galaxy A56 and compare it against the Samsung Galaxy S25 and see how both these phones kind of compare right now. Now, here's the thing. When it comes down to both these devices, the Samsung Galaxy S25 is a little bit of a different device than the A56. The A56 is supposed to be one of these mid-tier kind of devices that you can basically buy. Not anything super crazy, it's kind of like middle of the road. The Galaxy S25 is supposed to be one of their major flagships. Not the most expensive one you can buy, but it's supposed to be one of the better phones that they've ever made, right, for this particular year. So that is one of those really, really big things to keep in mind here. Because if you're going to go through and pick up a device, that is going to be a really big thing to keep in mind in the back of your head. Now, if you want to pick up either one of these phones at any point throughout this whole entire video, you can use the links down in the description. You can get them from there, and you can also support the channel at the exact same time. Now, starting off with the outside, the Samsung Galaxy S25, which came out a little bit earlier this year, is basically going to be giving you a 6.2-inch dynamic LTPO AMOLED display. So this type of phone is going to be giving you a really good layout for the most part. It's going to be giving you high brightness at 2600 nits of brightness. It's still going to be giving you a 120 Hz display, which is also very nice. So you are going to be getting a really, really good, capable phone inside of this type of device when it comes down to it. I think these types of phones look and feel very good, and there's not really too much to complain about here. It really is one of those better types of devices you can buy, and I think, Samsung did a really, really good job when they first made this device, and a few months later, it's really only gotten better with software updates, and now that the price has also gone down a little bit more as well. So I'm a really big fan of the way this particular phone holds up from that particular side. On something like the Samsung Galaxy A56, this is a little bit of a different phone. So for starters, this phone is basically going to be giving you still a really good type of layout. I think this type of phone looks beautiful, it looks great. It's going to be giving you a 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display. So the technology inside of the display is a tiny bit different. It's not like a massive difference by any means, but it is going to be one of those other minor types of changes that you're just going to have to kind of think about here. So from that side, that is kind of one of those big things to keep in mind there from that particular side. Now, within something like a Samsung Galaxy A56, you're still getting 1900 nits of peak brightness, and you're still getting a 120 Hz display as well. So I do think that is kind of another really big thing to keep in mind here too, because if you're going to go through and pick up a device, you're going to be able to still buy a device on these things that still holds up fairly well for the most part. So like I said before, I think that is kind of a big thing to keep in mind here, and I really do like buying that and getting these types of devices that's going to be giving me that. They're both giving you USB Type-C ports on the bottom, flat sides, solid glass back on the back of the Galaxy A56, frosted glass back on the Galaxy S25. So that right there is also going to be another pretty interesting thing to kind of keep in mind there for the most part as well. And when I do kind of look at both these phones, I do like the way my Samsung Galaxy S25 definitely feels, because that phone for sure feels like a way more premium device than something like the Galaxy A56. On top of that, the Galaxy S25 is giving me wireless charging and reverse wireless charging. The Galaxy A56 does not give you either one of those things. So that is kind of a concerning thing. It's kind of a little bit annoying, but it's not the biggest deal breaker in the world. But that could be one area where you might look at it and be a little bit concerned about. But I still look at something like my Samsung Galaxy A56, and I'm still a pretty big fan of it, but I feel like the Galaxy S25 definitely feels and looks a lot better on the exterior. When it also comes down to the way both these phones kind of perform when it comes down to their price tags, the Galaxy S25 right now is about $730, where the Galaxy A56 is about $400. So that right there is going to be a pretty big difference here too, because if you are wanting the phone, once again, that is going to be giving you a little bit of a better experience, you are once again going to have to look at both these phones, compare them, and see, well, the Galaxy A56 is hundreds of dollars cheaper. So you're going to have to kind of think about that in the back of your head while you're going through and comparing these phones side by side. So kind of keep that in mind. When it comes down to the cameras, they both are giving you triple camera setups on the backside, but they're both slightly different. So the Galaxy S25, 50 megapixel wide, 10 megapixel telephoto, then a 12 megapixel ultra wide camera, where the Galaxy A56 is giving you a 50 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, then a 5 megapixel macro lens. So for me personally, I like being able to go through and pick up both these types of phones, right? Because they're both giving you triple camera setups and all that. But without a doubt, the Samsung Galaxy S25 is by far going to be giving you a way better experience here. the Galaxy S25 is going to be giving you 4K at 60 on the front and the back and 8K capability on the backside, where the Galaxy A56 is only giving you 4K at 30 on the front and the back. Now I say only, that's still like okay resolution, but it's really not that great, and you are so much better off buying devices that are still going to be giving you overall better experiences. And that's why I look at something like a Samsung Galaxy A56 as being okay, like it's good enough, but the Galaxy, S25 is going to be so much better for the most part than something like the Galaxy A56. So at the end of the day, kind of think about that as well. When it comes down to software longevity, this is also going to be another one of those really big things to keep in mind here too. Because if you're wanting the device that is going to be giving you an overall better experience, you're going to look at something like the Samsung Galaxy A56 and the Galaxy S25 as almost neck and neck. I think the Galaxy S25 is going to outlast the A56 just by a little bit, but it's still going to be a very close type of experience. Like you're still going to be getting really close type of, updates and everything like that between both. So we're just going to have to kind of see what happens here too. But at least from what I can tell, they're both going to be roughly around the same. And there's not really any like big massive differences that I can tell, at least from a software update side. But when you do actually go through and you plan on buying these phones, when it comes down to kind of like the batteries, the Galaxy S25 is going to be giving you a 4,000 mAh battery. The A56 is giving you a 5,000 mAh battery. So that right there is also going to be another one of those big things to keep in mind here too, because you are probably going to end up getting somewhat of a better type of experience when it comes down to that battery life side on the Galaxy A56 rather than from something like the Samsung Galaxy S25 in this particular case. When it does kind of come down to some other areas of these devices, like when it comes down to their performance, this is another one of those really big differences. The Samsung Galaxy S25 is basically giving you that Snapdragon 8 Elite chipset inside with 12 gigs of RAM, where the Samsung Galaxy A56 is giving you the Exynos 1580 chipset inside with 6, 8, or 12 gigabytes of RAM. So once again, definitely when it comes down to the performance side, a phone like the Samsung Galaxy A56 is by far, it's just not going to be as fast of a phone compared to something like a Samsung Galaxy, like a Samsung Galaxy S25. The S25 is going to be really one of the fastest phones you can basically purchase. It's a really fast phone. It has so much capability, has so much power. And if I'm about to go through and pick up a phone, that is really one of those types of devices that I'd recommend buying. It's a beautiful phone. It has so much capability and so much power. And, it's a much powerful device, much more powerful device than something like a Samsung Galaxy A36 when it comes down to it. So, in my personal opinion, when it comes down to it, both these phones are very, very good. I like both these phones a lot. And if you are going to go through and pick up a device, this is really one of those types of devices I'd recommend buying. So I really do think if you are going to go through and pick up a phone, you can't really go wrong with either one, obviously, but the Galaxy S25 is way better. I would probably recommend buying a Galaxy S25 more so than I'd buy a Galaxy, A56. I'd probably also recommend a Galaxy S24 or a Galaxy S23 over a Galaxy A56 as well. So in terms of that kind of covers it up there for the most part. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.